Big Ballers VR has only been out for a few months, so to make the best of free games list, this game is a rising star. This is a sports VR game that lets you try a couple different sports, baseball, basketball, and football. And somehow with this game coming out on November 21st, 2023, it has already racked up over 4,000 ratings, giving it about a 4.8 star rating. 90% of people all saying 5 stars and saying it has realistic physics. It's the best basketball themed game, which is a big claim because there's actually several free basketball games with great ratings. People saying it's even the best sports game of all time. And when you go looking for why a few people did give it a low rating, people say that the dev team they have issues with or they got banned. People saying that it can take a long time to get into a lobby. And of course, people saying with most free games, toxic people, toxic children. But with that high of a rating, if you are into sports at all or you just like to check out free games, this is definitely one you gotta check out. Ancient Dungeon Beta is a game that was in beta and is still free as the beta on App Lab. Now there is a full release of this game that you can also buy, but we talked to the developer before and they said they wanted to keep the beta up so people could try the game without having to pay. It is a slightly older build, but because of that, it still has over 1,000 ratings. People often compare this roguelite dungeon crawler to Zelda because you can cut the grass, you can pick up and smash pots, but it is a full adventure game. And with over 1,000 ratings, also about a 4.8 rating with almost 90% 5-star ratings. People say they love it, it's the best game. People saying that it's also very long and there's a lot of different creatures to find for something that's free. And an interesting thing about this game, even if you go looking for bad reviews, it's mostly people saying that it wouldn't download correctly, it wouldn't let them in, trying to claim that it's broken. And even some people in the 5-star section telling those people, hey, it works, you're just messing up and downloading it. Check out the beta, and if it's something you love, remember there is a full game, although you will have to pay for that version. Maestro the Masterclass puts you as the conductor in front of a symphony orchestra, and you can use actual hand tracking. It even suggests taking something like a chopstick and putting it in your hand to give you the real feel of being an actual conductor. And you may assume it's only classical music, but it's got all kinds of things, electro to jazz, and about a 4.8 rating with over 1,200 people talking about this game. The same story here, mostly 5-star ratings, very little low ratings, people saying it's surprisingly awesome, and they say go for it, just get into the game, be silly while you play, and you are going to have so much fun. People even bringing up how much they love how realistic it is. But interestingly, if you go looking for what people could possibly say bad about this, mostly people just say that there isn't enough to it, saying that the game is absolutely amazing, but they wish there was more to come. People saying because it's only 30 minutes, they don't want it taking up their hard drive space. And even someone saying save your money on a free game. That's pretty hilarious. But everyone I've ever put this in or I've seen try it has absolutely loved it. This has got to be on your list of free games you check out. Gods of Gravity is a free 1 to 8 player game. It's an arcade style real-time strategy game. This is a god simulator where you are fighting other gods. You're in space, you're holding planets, you're throwing black holes at each other, and probably one of the biggest free games you're gonna find on the Quest store. In case you're not into multiplayer, it's got a single player campaign. You can play 2 to 8 player multiplayer, ranking, challenges, and with over 1,400 ratings, this comes in a little lower at about a 4.3 star rating. People saying it's a great game, but the toxic people, of course. People saying the mechanics are great, people loving the unique concept, but of course the bad reviews mention the community. People saying that they didn't like the recent updates to the game, and some people being confused, saying that you have to pay for things in the game, although the game points only go towards cosmetics and other things that don't actually affect the gameplay. So many of you have suggested Gods of Gravity, but if there's some of you out there that still haven't given it a try, I'd say check it out. No Clip VR is the Backrooms, but in virtual reality. This game pits you up against all kinds of different puzzles and different entities that are going to be trying to chase you down with its unique locomotion style, although it might feel very familiar to you from some other games. Well-known game with over 3,000 ratings, giving it a 4.5 star rating. Although this is one of those games that appeals to so many and such a young audience, the reviews get pretty weird if you try to look through them, with people just putting random art pictures in them, people repeating weird phrases. But if you search far enough, you'll find actual reviews where people say that they absolutely love the game, it really scared them. People mentioning that the paid packs to get more are actually worth buying, and people mentioning they love the social aspect of the game and how you're actually getting a workout in with your arms. But of course, if you look for the bad reviews, people are saying that they don't like that you have to pay more past those 3 levels, people citing that there's glitches in the game, that they couldn't get their name in it, but ultimately an overwhelmingly positive review for this game. Roblox is one of the biggest games in the world, and it's now in VR. It's hard to imagine you don't know what it is, but this is a whole world within a world. 66 million daily active users. People are creating tons of different 3D immersive experiences, from recreating other games in it to creating new games, social lobbies, places to hang out. out, and this quickly got on the most downloaded apps list when it launched, and now with nearly 5,000 ratings, it's still sitting about a 4-star rating, with some pretty hard splits with 58% 5 stars but 17% 1-star reviews. And just like the other games that are massively popular and appeal to a young audience, the reviews are full of a lot of art pictures. And with Oculus's system where if you click helpful, that helps move the reviews up, the best art pictures apparently make it to the top. But people saying in the reviews they like that it actually runs better on their Quest than trying to play Roblox mobile. People saying they recommend this to anyone who owns a VR, and that they love how there's VR exclusive badges now on the VR games. People reminding you that if your account is set to under 10, this won't actually let you play. And people even giving helpful tips about the game, but saying it's also Roblox and it's free. And if you look for what people said bad about it, people saying that they can't get in because their account is set too young, people citing lag, or people having menu pop-ups, or just a general feel that it still doesn't feel like it's ready for VR, and some people saying you should wait for the full release. I got into this when it first came out, and it definitely felt like some of the VR experiences worked well and some of them were just terrible. If there's something you really like out there, let me know in the comments so I can go back in and look for some of the better ones to try now. Grab is a multiplayer VR parkour game that has you navigating all kinds of different levels, whether you're climbing, jumping, sliding, and even swinging. You can't drop or touch the lava, and a big part of why people love Grab is there's actually a level editor where you can make your own levels, your friends can make levels for you, or you can play community levels and check them out. It's cross-platform with up to 10 people in with each other, and weirdly, even though this has been out over 2 years, it still claims it's in early access. Currently with a 4.7-star rating and nearly 4,000 ratings, this game is well loved with mostly 5-star ratings. People are saying not only is the game awesome, but the mods are really nice and really helpful, and they enjoyed the Christmas update we just had. People saying it's the best game out there. People even writing messages directly to the developer saying keep it up, and multiple people praising the level editor. Some people giving it a 1-star saying things like they had designed a level they really liked and then an update broke it. People saying that some of the levels are too hard and then some of them are really boring. And then people having issues with joining servers. But another game, whether you're looking for multiplayer fun, parkour, or even if you just want to be someone that designs levels, it's worth checking out. Gun Raiders was actually suggested by many of you before I went and tried it, and I was so glad I did. It's a free-to-play VR shooter, relies heavily on a jetpacking mechanic that takes you flying around from wall to wall, and they added a battle royale mode that was really popular, but this game is actually on like season 8. They update it all the time, and it shows with its nearly 5,000 ratings this has managed to stay popular, although a 4.1 rating is probably our lowest rating on the list today. The game's got tons of different game modes, and you can buy coins to buy things like skins in the game. Lower rating as the ratings are a bit more split, 64% 5-star, 15% 4-star, but 12% 1-star ratings. People saying it's a good game, but it might hurt your thumbs. People making a pros and cons list, but saying there is no cons. And people saying that the community on this one is actually pretty good, which is surprising for such a big multiplayer VR game. Of course, if you scroll through, you find the lower reviews, people saying that this is a ripoff of Population 1, people saying that other people are cheating, or people saying that it used to be better. But if you go back and look, most all the recent reviews are at least 4 or 5 stars, showing they're still improving this as they update it. Gun Raiders definitely one you gotta check out, although Population 1, although it didn't make this list, honorable mention, Population 1 is another free game. If you love anything like Fortnite and VR, go check that out too. Blacktop Hoops VR Basketball, one of the most reviewed on our list today. This is basketball, people say, with surprisingly good physics. You can do dribble combos, break ankles, sink all kinds of different shots, and this has about a 4.8-star rating with over 13,000 ratings. People saying that this game is very fun. People saying they can't stop playing, it's perfect, and they love there's more updates coming. People saying the game is nice and has tons of potential, they just wish there was more we can unlock, although the game does still claim to be in beta. People saying it deserves a perfect 10, and it's only got 1% 1-star ratings or 3-star ratings. People mostly just citing either having issues with buying something in the game or having issues with the game glitching on them, and some people saying they're having problems with the online play. But that's a 91% 5-star ratings with nearly 14,000 ratings. If you like basketball, I'll get this game. And it has to be number 1 because it's got nearly 100,000 ratings. Gorilla Tag will probably be the most divisive one on this list. Still coming in at about a 4.6 star. If you don't know Gorilla Tag somehow, this is a game that puts you in as a gorilla in a world where you are playing tag against your friends, but it brought in the most unique style of locomotion where you had to smack the ground with your hands to move around, and has brought on a million clones just like it. Not only is there different game modes inside the game, but people even make up their own game modes, and the rules are well enough known that most people in the lobby will play those other game modes together. 86% 5-star ratings. Reviews are almost impossible to sort through because there's so many random pictures pictures and people just putting weird phrases in there. If you look for the most real reviews, people say it is a great game. You're gonna run into toxic people. Of course, that's gonna happen in a free multiplayer game. And of course, this game appeals a lot to a very young audience, so you're dealing with little kids sometimes. Kids that are maybe too young to be in a VR headset. But you can see, scrolling through the reviews, they are just flooded with people putting all kinds of weird stuff in the reviews. And if you go looking for people who are unhappy with the game, it's a lot of the same stuff. People mad that they got banned, people saying that other people need to get banned, people citing inappropriate language, kids, and all kinds of inappropriate behavior. Gorilla Tag definitely seems to be a love it or hate it game, and do you love it or hate it? That's all the top games right now people are playing out in 2024. Let me know your favorites or stuff that didn't make the list that you think should have been there. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in another reality.